we go, we are back out again. Kit on the back, and I am just walking. I've just arrived at the lake now, so just gonna have a really good look around, see if I can find a peg and jump in. Let's go. Well, hey guys, we are back and we are out doing it again. So we are at the lake and I've just had a really good look around, and there's loads of fish up in the layers and they are showing themselves. So I've just dropped into this peg now and there are a big bunch of fish cruising around, probably a foot, maybe less than a foot underneath the surface. I'm gonna rig one rod up quickly, try and see if I can get a bite on the surface. I'm not gonna mess around with anything else, just try and get one rod out and have a go, see if we can get one. So usually when I pack down my sessions, I leave my gear pretty much set up, ready for my next session. I always make sure that I'm looking after all my gear and pack it away properly in the most efficient way so I can always fish quickly the next session. And the last time I was fishing, I decided I'm gonna just leave one rod completely broke down and packed down. That way, if I come out this session and manage to see them on the surface, I can have a go for them straight away. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just rigging up one rod now, ready for the surface. Let me get my gear out because they are literally in my peg on the top and they keep breaking the surface with their backs. I can't lie, I'm getting a little bit too excited, so I just need to get this rig set up and get fishing. The peg I'm in is roughly sort of 25, 26 foot deep this time of year. But the funny thing is that when I arrived just now, I saw fizzing right in the center. There's still fish down there fizzing away and feeding, even though the depths are crazy in this peg. And that's not uncommon this time of year, because obviously you have high temperatures in the daytimes, but you still have the lows at nighttime, so it still gets very cold. Those fish could be down there feeding this morning, getting all of their naturals, and then they're going to be ready to sun themselves this afternoon. So I want to get everything ready. I'm probably going to fish mostly on the zigs today, but I'm going to keep this rod on the go for surface fishing for this morning. Oh man, I'm getting proper excited. Those fish are out there and they're cruising around. There's little groups of them, but they are ready for a bite. I just need to get this rig set up and get my rod out. So for any of you guys that have never surface fished before, or you've not done much of it, what I'll do later on in the session is I'll run you through my rig and how I sort of set up for surface fishing. We'll go in a little bit more in depth. I'm not going to do it now just because I want to get this rod out and I want to see if I can catch a fish early doors. If I can, then that will take the pressure off this session for me and I'll just be able to relax a little bit and enjoy the fishing. I mean, I'm going to enjoy the fishing anyway, but this just takes a little bit of pressure off. So yeah, when you first arrive to the lake like this, the pressure is quite high. You do just want to get a bite, and then you know that lovely feeling of when you've finally landed a fish, all the pressure and all the weight is off your shoulders and you can sort of settle into your fishing a little bit more. We all know that our rigs and tactics work because we've all caught many fish like loads and loads of times over and over again, but I don't know why that feeling is always there. Everyone must suffer the same thing because I hear it a lot from other guys as well. So yeah, just want to get this set up so I can catch a lovely fish and show you guys what this lake has to offer. Let's go. So I've been messing around on one rod, doing a bit of floater fishing and just having a go for them just to see if I can get any of them taken. And it's not really paid off, to be honest with you. There's loads of fish right up in the layers and sometimes they're breaking the surface. There's been a few sort of taking odds and ends off the top, but anytime I introduce any bait, I'm either completely wiped out by the seagulls and ducks, or it's just been a complete wipeout and the fish have been moving right off the bait. So they're really spooked off still. I think they're just sunning themselves and really enjoying it, and they are sitting that depth just below the surface, just enough to be away from those hook baits and stuff. I've got both rods now changed over to the adjustable zigs again. One I'm keeping just out in front of the tree on my right hand side, and that's at about 18 inches under, and the one on my left hand side I've cast that out into the middle channel of the lake, and that is also at about 18 inches to 2 foot underneath the surface. So hopefully I've got a chance of catching one. They are sunning themselves and moving all through the lake at about that depth, so we've got a really good chance. My right hand rod, I keep getting liners on it, and I think there's fish moving right up through into the shallows and moving through, but they're not quite dipping down. So I've had my right hand rod on the bottom fishing with a D rig and a wafter hook bait for the majority of this session so far, and that hasn't done a bite, and that's been in exactly the area where my zig is now, where I'm getting the liners from. So I think the fish are there, but they're just a little bit sort of up in the water and not on the deck feeding. If I keep getting any weird liners like this, maybe I'll bring that rod a little bit closer or just bring it a little bit lower in the water column. And the other thing that I've done is my right hand rod has got the zig section is about one distance between the bottom eye of my rod and my spool, and the left hand one is 2 distances between. So I've got a little bit of separation between the float and the hook bait on the second one, and the right hand one is a little bit closer. So I've played around with this in the past, and yeah, I just want to have a go and see how that affects this session. Well, the time now is 20 past 12. I'm just looking there, and yeah, it's coming up lunchtime. I'm gonna have something to eat in a sec. I've brought a lunch with me today, just the old classic sandwiches, like a school pack lunch. You can't beat it. Just gonna sit back and watch those zigs for a bit, because I'm not gonna be in a rush to sort of move my rods around all day today. I'm literally just gonna be sitting on the spot. So I'm gonna introduce a bit of bait on the right hand side of my peg underneath that tree. I did a little bit this morning, just put 1 handful of boilies and crumb with some liquid over the top. So if the zigs don't do us a bite today, then we've got options for later on. So let's have a go to see if we can catch them. So as you may be able to tell, I can't see a thing. It's so bright today. The sun is absolutely belting down. It's right overhead at the moment. And this peg is like dry mud, so it's kind of reflecting all that sunlight into my eyes. Yeah, I could probably put my sunglasses on, but I just look like a twat in them, to be honest with you. I'm already a twat in a hat, and I don't want to be one with sunglasses on as well. But yeah, I'm using them obviously to have a look through the water. Polaroids are a really essential part of fishing, and yeah, I wouldn't go fishing without them. So one thing I'd love to know, guys, is how you guys approach sessions like this. When you come out and it's super hot sunshine, really bright overhead, and those fish are right up in the layers, especially on lakes like this where it's really deep. How do you guys tackle those sort of situations? For me, I love zig fishing and I love surface fishing, but sometimes I'm a bit hesitant to switch over from one to the other. I love zig fishing in this sort of depth of water because you've got the option to keep that rig stationary in the lake, as where surface fishing on lakes like this, where they're really heavily affected by the wind, they get blown all over the place. It can be a really good thing if you're trying to move across the fish, because you can cast upwind and let it drift across them. But in other times it can be a pain in the ass because you're drifting all your baits out of the peg and your rigs as well, and it's really annoying. So if you guys tackle this sort of situation any differently to me, drop me a comment and let me know. So one thing I have noticed on this session is that the water level is down about 12 to 14 foot from usual. So autumn, winter time on this lake, obviously it holds a lot of water over that time from all the rainfall and all of the runoff from the fields. But this lake actually gets used for irrigation to pump out across all of the cornfields that are around the area. So it does get drained out quite a lot. And also with this bright hot sunshine, it doesn't help much because it evaporates all of the water and keeps the levels coming down. So maybe that's affecting the fish, I don't know. But I feel like we've still got a really good chance of catching one. So for now, I'm just gonna sit down and relax in my chair for a bit and absorb some of this beautiful sunlight. It's so nice to be out on the bank, and I am literally just in a t-shirt, short sleeves, and yeah, feeling really good at the moment. So I'm just gonna sit back and chill and soak in some of the sun. Well, I can't lie, guys, this has been a very difficult day so far. There's been fish absolutely everywhere, all across the surface, and they've just not been taken. There's been the odd one or two taking the odd bit of pollen, maybe the odd mixer every now and then, but it's seriously few and far between. And there is a massive amount of the fish up on the surface cruising around, so I've been super hesitant to change over because I've got these zigs on. Like I say, I tried with the surface baits this morning and I was having nothing. There's a few people fishing on here with surface baits at the moment and it doesn't seem like they're doing anything either. So the time now is 3 o'clock and I've had the zigs on for a good couple of hours and it's not really done much at all, to be honest with you. I've had loads of weird sort of beeps and buzzes and stuff, but I think that's just the way on these sort of lakes because this is a deep lake. So if you have any sort of tight lines going through the swim, which I have got with the adjustable zigs, then you are going to have fish bumping into the line. So you do get these weird sort of situations where the fish come through, pick up your line, and yeah, you get a few beeps on the alarm. But yeah, it's nothing to really hit into. It's just those fish passing through, unfortunately. The sun is starting to move over now a little bit, and it does seem to be changing a little bit. The wind has changed, it's moved directions. Some fish coming out now, just diving. Don't know if you can hear that or not, but they are proper splashing out. So I've just changed over my right hand rod to a hinge stiff rig with a fluoro pink pop-up on. It's another approach that I really like this time of year, and especially in hot sunny conditions, because you're not getting them feeding directly on the bottom, but you want a nice visual one to sort of stop them in their tracks. So I've just popped that in underneath the tree on the right hand margin, and yeah, that's just got a little bit of bait over, maybe 10-15 boilies over the top, and that's it really. So I've just moved my left hand rod and I've brought it in, so it's basically about 20 foot off the bank now, and it's still on that steep drop off, so it's still probably around 18 foot deep there. And I've popped that right up, so it's about 6 inches under the surface now, and it's got that black foam with a little red liner on. So if there's any fish cruising through across the top and they fancy a little bit of black foam to eat, then it's right there waiting for them. So yeah, I feel like I'm still confident for getting a bite this session, especially that right hand rod. I don't know what it is, I just feel like I'm going to get one on the bottom even though the pressure's really high and the fish are all across the top. It seems crazy, I don't know why. You just have these sort of instincts, but it might not pay off. But I'm going to try it for a couple of hours and leave that hinge stiff rig on with a bright pink pop-up and see if that pays off. Well, here we go, guys. This has been a long, hard day. And yeah, this has just been one of those fish that is just so well deserved. I have tried everything today. I've been fishing on the surface, I've been fishing on zigs, and now I've been fishing on the bottom. And this fish finally came to a rod on the bottom. I really wasn't expecting it. Today, I was really expecting more bites on zigs. Oh yeah, that is a fish. And I finally managed to land one from the bottom. This came to My favourite old Slip D multi-rig, and yeah, just a wafter hook bait. And that was it, that's all it's needed. The fish is covered in leeches. It's spewing out maggots everywhere actually, and I'm not feeding maggots, so that's a good sign. That means next time I come back here, I shall be bringing maggots with me. This is one of those fish, oh my God. I have worked so hard for it. I really didn't think it was gonna happen today, and I finally managed to get one, so I'm absolutely buzzing. Let me pour a bit more water on it. So I unhooked her in the margin, let her rest a little bit in the net, and that's it. Got the rod back out, just in case of another bite. And it's a cracking evening. The sun is just starting to go down, and it's starting to really feel like bite time. I'm just blown away that it hasn't happened today on the surface. Let's just have another little look at her quick. Oh, she's resting in the water. Look at that. That is an absolute beauty. That's probably one of the best looking fish I've had for quite a long time now. It's almost a linear, and it's just got those amazing scales all over it, really lovely dark colours to it, and it's still got those rich orange colours from the winter. There we go, I won't keep her out any longer. Let's slip her back and see if we can get another one. Yes. Well, I can't believe it, guys. We finally got one. So it was a bloody hard day, to be honest with you. This has been so tricky the whole day. I've never had a session like this where they've just been everywhere, showing all over the top, up in the layers, and they've just not been taking them. I've been trying dog biscuits, I've been trying zigs, and yeah, just my general surface approach, I'm really confident in it. I've caught hundreds of carp like it, and they just weren't having any of it. They were rising to like one or two odd ones, like once an hour or something like that, but no sort of feeding response, nothing like that. There was no competitive feeding in any way, shape or form. And the zigs just weren't doing it. They just weren't doing the bites at all. So I had this gut feeling that maybe if I try in the margins, I might get a bite, I might get lucky. Just odd fish that are sort of patrolling those margin lines that aren't in those big groups might come around and pick one up. And yeah, it finally happened. So I had one rod out on the bottom, and I've just flicked it literally, it's in maybe 6 foot of water, and bearing in mind that the peg that I'm in front of me there is easily 25 foot of water out in the middle. So right up in the margin is the area I sort of tried. And thinking he's going to warm up the water, the fish are going to be moving over it and they're going to come around and have a little go. And yeah, I was surface fishing on my other rod and I was sort of patrolling up and down this bank. I've got a gap between this swim and the next swim, so it's really safe to fish between both pegs. And I was just carrying the net with me as I was going. So yeah, I took my other rod down to the other swim. I was having a little cast. I chucked one rig out and that was it. I heard the beeping of my receiver in my pocket and it just absolutely ripped off. And I managed to run down the bank and grab the fish. And yeah, there was a bit of a tangle when I was playing the fish in. I managed to tangle my other rig into the net, and it was just a bit of a faff getting all of that done, but finally managed to sort it all out and land the fish. And yeah, just absolutely over the moon to have caught one. I really thought I was going to go home with a blank on my shoulders this time, and no, luckily I managed to get one. So I'm absolutely buzzing now, and I still feel like there is an opportunity for another bite. I've still got that one rod out. I managed to redo it when the fish was in the net, and that's it. I just left that one out as it is, and I'm gonna change over my other rod now from the surface gear and just slip that one in the margin as well. The time now is, so it's just coming up 7 o'clock. So the sun is really going down now. I've probably got maybe tops an hour of light left. So I feel like if I stay another hour, I've got a chance of catching another one. So I'm gonna stick it out until dark. And yeah, let's just hope that we can catch something. So that's it, guys. The sun is just going down rapidly behind me there, and it has been a lovely day. It has been a hectic day, and it's been one of those fishing sessions where I've absolutely been beaten up. And I haven't said that in ages, to be honest with you. Fishing sessions for me tend to be quite chill, quite relaxed, my sort of downtime. But this session has absolutely beat me up. I've just been working my arse off to try and get a bite. I've been fishing on the top, in the middle and the bottom. I've tried all different sort of baits and hook baits, and I've tried pop-ups and bottom baits and wafters, and I've tried everything. I should have just stuck to my guns really. Probably in hindsight, I should have just stuck to one method and just rode it out, but don't know, there was just a part of me that just wanted to try a few different things and yeah, just have a go. I'm a little bit impatient anyway, and if I don't see a bite in the next 10 minutes, I'm like, I got to change it. So yeah, that sort of angler, I just want to be constantly moving and adapting to try and get the best out of the session really. But it's been a really good one. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously I enjoyed it a lot more after catching that fish. Yeah, it was an absolute belter as well. It's not one I've had from here before, almost a linear, and yeah, incredible little fish. Oh, you may better hear that is my right hand rod. It's right in the margin. This is what happened earlier on before the bite. So I was getting loads of liners, and I think it's fish moving sort of between the rod and the tree where I've cast to basically. And they're on the drop off of the shelf. I can't present a rig there properly because it's on such a steep drop off. The only thing I could do is sort of dangle a rig down the edge of it. It just doesn't look right to me. So I can't present a rig right where they are, but yeah, I've got loads of liners from that area, and there's been fish moving through and it's been hitting both lines. So I know there's fish cruising through that gap because it's the only thing that can sort of move both rods like that and give me beeps on both lines. So yeah, the sun's setting now and it's starting to really feel like bite time. So I'm really hopeful that I've got a chance of catching another one before I have to leave. If not, then this is going to be a goodbye from me. And like always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, then make sure that you hit the bell and subscribe and all of that sort of stuff. And if you guys have been here before and you've seen the channel and you're already subscribed, then thank you guys so much for that as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.